Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're uncovering the hidden value of Lincoln Wheat Pennies, coins that might look ordinary but can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. From rare dates to striking errors, some of these pennies are true treasures hiding in plain sight. If you think a 1-cent coin can't be valuable, think again. Let's find out which wheat pennies are turning heads in the collector world. First up, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a piece of American numismatic history minted during a time of economic recovery and social change in the United States. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, this penny carries the small yet significant S Mint mark below the date on the obverse side. Its circulated condition tells the story of a coin that has traveled through the hands of countless individuals over many decades. These coins were not simply items of monetary value, but were an essential part of daily life and commerce, especially during the period following the Great Depression. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, to which this coin belongs, is among the most recognized and collected in United States history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the design was the first regular issue United States coin to feature the image of an actual person. The obverse of the 1937 penny showcases the enduring image of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this portrait remains one of the longest used coin designs in American history. Even in circulated condition, the coin's primary design elements are typically visible. Lincoln's right-facing profile includes details such as his beard, the contours of his face, and his clothing. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust," and to the left is the word "Liberty," with the year 1937 to the right. Below the date lies the small S Mint mark, indicating it was produced at the San Francisco Mint. Despite wear from circulation, this coin often retains enough detail to make these features recognizable, which adds to its historical and collectible appeal. The reverse side of the coin carries the original wheat ears design that gave this series its nickname. On each side of the coin are stylized sheaves of wheat, representing America's agricultural strength and prosperity. Between them are the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America with the Latin motto E pluribus unum above, while circulated coins tend to show signs of wear along the edges of the wheat stalks and the lettering. This design is generally resilient and remains identifiable even on well-used examples. Each mark and surface change on a circulated 1937 penny is a reminder of the thousands of interactions the coin has seen over the decades, making it a true artifact of American history. The year 1937 itself was significant. The United States was emerging from the Great Depression and beginning to stabilize economically. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was in his second term, and many New Deal programs were either underway or being reevaluated. Although the worst of the Depression had passed, many Americans were still feeling its effects. A penny at that time had substantial buying power, and people often counted and saved every coin they earned. A 1937 penny in circulation would have been used for small, everyday purchases such as newspapers, candy, matches, or perhaps a local bus fare. These transactions, though simple, were the lifeblood of the American economy, and the penny played a crucial role in them. From a production standpoint, the San Francisco Mint struck just over 34 million Lincoln Wheat Pennies in 1937. While this is not an especially low mintage figure, it is lower than the combined production numbers of the Philadelphia and Denver mints for the same year, making the 1937 issue somewhat more desirable to certain collectors. Its scarcity is further influenced by its survival rate in higher grades. Circulated examples like the one in question are more common, yet each has its own unique story based on the wear patterns, toning, and any distinctive marks acquired over time. The coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a standard alloy for Lincoln pennies until the early 1940s. This metal composition makes the coin susceptible to toning and oxidation, especially when exposed to environmental factors such as humidity or oils from human skin. Many circulated examples, including the one being described, show varying degrees of discoloration or surface change, which may include brown, reddish, or even dark shades. These color shifts are natural and often enhance the coin's historic character rather than detract from its value. In fact, many collectors appreciate a circulated coin with an honest patina more than a cleaned or altered specimen, although the market value of a 1937's Lincoln penny in circulated condition is modest. Its significance lies in its history and representation of an important era in American life. Coins like this one are often used by collectors to complete date and mint mark sets, especially those working on building a complete run of Lincoln wheat cents from 1909 to 1958. A well-preserved circulated example can be an ideal choice for such collectors due to its affordability and availability. Even beyond numismatics, these coins appeal to history lovers, educators, and even artists who see them as tangible links to the past. When storing or displaying a circulated 1937's penny, proper care should be taken to prevent further deterioration. The coin should ideally be kept in a holder or flip made of inert materials, such as mylar, which do not contain PVC that can damage the metal over time. Next up we have the 1952's Lincoln wheat penny is a notable example of mid-20th century American coinage and remains a popular choice among collectors who appreciate its historical significance and classic design. Minted at the San Francisco Mint, this penny carries the characteristic S mint mark below the date on the obverse side. While over 70 years have passed since it was struck, the coin still represents a time in the United States marked by post-war growth, industrial expansion, and societal change. Though the coin in question is in good condition and circulated, its features remain distinct enough to offer both visual appeal and numismatic value. As part of the larger Lincoln wheat penny series, the 1952's issue contributes to one of the most enduring and collected coin series in American history. The Lincoln wheat penny series was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin broke tradition by featuring a real person on a circulating American coin for the first time. The obverse of the 1952's penny features a right-facing portrait of Lincoln, capturing the solemn dignity and integrity for which he is remembered. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" across the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1952 to the right, just above the small s mint mark, indicating that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint. Despite the coin being circulated, these elements are typically well preserved in good condition, making the portrait and lettering readable and the design attractive to collectors. On the reverse side of the coin, the classic wheat ears design continues to communicate the values of unity and agricultural abundance that were central to early 20th century American identity. The design consists of two stylized sheaves of wheat bordering the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above these inscriptions is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. This reverse design remained in use until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. For the 1952's penny, the reverse often shows light wear along the edges of the wheat stalks and lettering, especially in circulated condition. But most details remain identifiable and pleasing to the eye. The 1952's penny was minted during a time of increasing prosperity in the United States. Following the end of the Second World War, America experienced a period of economic expansion. Known as the post-war boom, the 1950s were characterized by the rise of the middle class, rapid suburbanization, technological innovation, and a focus on domestic consumerism. A penny minted in 1950 would have been part of daily life for millions of Americans, used in transactions that were both ordinary and essential. Whether paying for a newspaper, a piece of candy, or part of a school lunch, this coin served a vital function in the country's economic engine. The idea that such a coin has remained intact and irrecognizable through decades of use enhances its significance and adds to its story. The San Francisco Mint struck approximately 137 million Lincoln Wheat Pennies in 1952. This relatively high mintage means that the coin is not rare in the traditional sense, but examples in good condition, especially those that have not been cleaned or damaged, remain desirable to collectors. The S-Mint mark adds a layer of interest for those completing a full collection of Lincoln cents by date and mint. Many collectors aim to gather one of each date and mint combination, making coins from the San Francisco Mint an essential part of any comprehensive Lincoln cent collection. The 1952 S penny holds its place in this series as a mid-century representation of American minting standards and craftsmanship. The composition of the 1952 S penny is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a standard formula used for Lincoln cents throughout most of the wheat penny era. This copper alloy gives the coin its rich reddish-brown color when uncirculated, but exposure to air, handling, and environmental conditions can darken the surface over time. In good circulated condition, the coin may display a blend of red, brown, or darker hues, all of which are considered normal. Some collectors even prefer coins with even toning, as it indicates that the coin has not been artificially cleaned or altered. Natural wear and color shifts are part of the story each coin tells, and they contribute to its authenticity and charm. When examining a 1952 S penny in good condition, one can appreciate the durability of its design and the quality of its strike. Good condition generally means that the major features of the coin remain clearly visible, although some finer details may be worn down from circulation. This level of preservation is often seen as desirable because it suggests the coin has experienced real-world use without suffering excessive damage. Each scratch, tone change, and worn edge contributes to a narrative that spans over 7 decades, connecting collectors with the past in a tangible way. Collectors who come across a 1952 S Lincoln penny often include it in their sets as part of a broader effort to build a complete collection of wheat cents. Even though the individual value of such a coin in good condition may be modest, it plays an important role in telling the full story of the Lincoln cent series. It also serves as an accessible entry point for new collectors who are beginning to learn about the intricacies of mint marks, grading, and coin storage. For experienced collectors, finding a well-preserved 1952 S penny that fits the overall aesthetic of a collection can be just as satisfying as discovering a rare piece. Proper storage and handling are key to preserving coins like the 1952 S penny. It is recommended to keep the coin in a non-PVC holder or an archival quality album to prevent further oxidation and environmental damage. Storing the coin in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight will help maintain its current state. When handling the coin, touching only the edges will prevent the transfer of oils from the skin to the coin's surface, which can lead to staining or corrosion over time. By taking these precautions, collectors can ensure that this coin continues to be appreciated and preserved for future generations. In summary, the 1952 S Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a small copper coin. It is a historical artifact that reflects a specific time in American life, a product of the San Francisco Mint's skilled craftsmanship, and a valued piece within one of the most beloved coin series in the world. In good condition, it continues to hold aesthetic, educational, and collectible value. The coin connects us to the people who used it, the hands that passed it from one transaction to the next, and the cultural landscape of mid-century America. Whether it ends up in a coin album, a classroom, or a personal collection, the 1952 S penny serves as a timeless reminder of the rich heritage and enduring legacy of United States coinage. Next up we have the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a classic and historically significant coin that continues to capture the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, this coin was part of the ongoing production of the Lincoln cent series, which had already gained popularity since its introduction in 1909. The 1937 issue represents a pre-World War II era in American history, a time when the country was emerging from the Great Depression and on the verge of major changes both economically and socially. This particular coin, though it has some dust and shows signs of its age, still holds intrinsic numismatic and historical value. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which was designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was revolutionary at the time of its debut in 1909 because it was the first circulating United States coin to feature a real person. By 1937, the Lincoln cent had become an established fixture in daily commerce and had cemented its place in American culture. The obverse shows Lincoln in profile, facing to the right, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left of the portrait, and the year 1937 to the right. The absence of a mint mark beneath the date confirms that the coin was minted in Philadelphia, which did not use mint marks on pennies at that time. Despite being in circulated condition and having accumulated some dust, the 1937 Lincoln penny retains much of its original design. In circulated condition, most coins from this era will show wear on Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and coat details. Even so, the major features usually remain visible, and in some cases, the dust or natural patina on the surface can add a sense of character and authenticity to the piece. Many collectors appreciate coins that show signs of honest use, as they tell a story of how the coin functioned in everyday transactions and passed through many hands over decades. The reverse side of the coin features the iconic wheat ears design, which is why these coins are commonly referred to as wheat pennies. The words 1 cent are boldly displayed in the center, with United States of America just below. The two stylized wheat stalks run vertically along the left and right edges of the coin, framing the inscriptions. At the top is the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," which means "out of many, one." This reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958 and remains one of the most recognized designs in American numismatics. On the 1937 coin, the reverse design may be slightly worn, especially on the high points of the wheat ears and the central lettering, but it remains legible and distinct. The year 1937 falls in an interesting period of American history. The nation was still dealing with the lingering effects of the Great Depression, and although the economy had started to recover thanks to New Deal programs and public works projects, millions of Americans were still facing economic hardship. Coins like the 1937 penny were essential in everyday life, used to buy food, newspapers, transportation fares, and other basic necessities. Holding a 1937 penny today offers a tangible link to this era, providing a sense of connection to the individuals who lived through challenging times and used these coins in their daily lives. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 309 million Lincoln wheat pennies in 1937. This makes the coin fairly common in comparison to some other dates in the series. However, availability does not diminish its appeal, especially when the coin is in relatively good shape and maintains its structural integrity. Collectors often seek out coins from every year and mint, and a 1937 penny without a mint mark is a necessary inclusion in any complete Lincoln cent collection. The presence of dust or minor surface imperfections may slightly affect market value, but for many collectors, the historical value far outweighs any small aesthetic flaws. The composition of the 1937 Lincoln penny is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which was the standard alloy for cents of that period. This composition gives the coin its warm reddish-brown tone, which can change over time due to oxidation, exposure to air, and handling. Dust can settle into the crevices of the design, especially around the lettering and wheat stalks, subtly muting some of the finer details. However, collectors typically prefer to leave natural surface elements intact rather than risk damaging the coin through improper cleaning. It is widely recommended that coins with dust or dirt be preserved in their natural state unless handled by a professional conservator. When evaluating a 1937 penny in circulated condition, several aspects are considered. These include the clarity of the date, the visibility of Lincoln's facial features, the legibility of the lettering, and the overall wear on the wheat stalks. Coins with strong details and minimal damage, even if they have surface dust, are still considered desirable. For new collectors, a 1937 penny is an affordable and educational addition to a budding collection, while more seasoned numismatists may seek out high-grade examples or varieties that enhance their broader Lincoln sets. Varieties and errors are also an area of interest for collectors. Although the 1937 Lincoln penny does not have widely known major errors like the 1955 double die, there may still be minor die cracks, off-center strikes, or variations in strike quality that can make individual coins more unique. Careful examination under magnification may reveal such features and add another layer of interest to a seemingly common coin. Storage and preservation are essential for maintaining the condition of coins like the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny. Even in circulated condition, coins benefit from being kept in a dry, stable environment away from direct sunlight and humidity. Archival quality coin flips, cardboard holders with clear windows, or coin albums are recommended to prevent further wear and to preserve the coin's appearance. Avoid using household cleaners or abrasive materials, as these can scratch the surface and significantly reduce the coin's value. A coin with natural toning and dust is often more respected in the collecting community than one that has been artificially altered. In conclusion, the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a compelling artifact of American history. Despite its common mintage and circulated condition with some dust present, the coin remains a valuable piece of the numismatic puzzle. It represents a moment in time when the nation was navigating economic recovery and heading toward major global events. Each element of the coin, from Lincoln's enduring image to the iconic wheat reverse, contributes to its lasting legacy. For collectors, historians, and anyone interested in the physical remnants of America's past, the 1937 penny offers both charm and educational value. Its survival through nearly a century of change stands as a quiet testament to durability, tradition, and the enduring legacy of American coinage. Next up we have the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a historically significant and collectible coin that marks the final year of the beloved wheat reverse design. Minted in Philadelphia, this coin was part of a long-standing series that began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The wheat cent, as it is affectionately known, was the first regular-issue United States coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the Lincoln cent features a right-facing profile of President Lincoln and has remained largely unchanged in design for over a century. The 1958 issue, especially without a mint mark, is a notable piece for collectors due to its position as the last in the wheat penny series before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. The obverse of the 1958 penny features Lincoln's portrait with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, Liberty on the left side, and the date 1958 on the right. The absence of a mint mark below the date indicates it was minted in Philadelphia, as coins from that mint during this period typically did not include a mint mark. In circulated condition, as this particular example is described, the coin may show signs of moderate wear on Lincoln's face, hair, and coat, with some smoothing of the finer details that once gave the design depth. However, even with wear, the essential elements of the design remain visible and serve as a testament to the coin's enduring use in everyday commerce. The reverse side of the coin features the stylized stalks of wheat curving along the left and right edges, flanking the bold inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above this central design is the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, which translates to "out of many, one." This reverse design had been a defining feature of the Lincoln penny since its inception, symbolizing agricultural prosperity and national unity. By 1958, this classic reverse had already become an iconic part of American numismatics. For many collectors and historians, The 1958 penny represents the closing chapter of an era that spanned nearly 5 decades. During 1958, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 252 million Lincoln Wheat Pennies, making the coin relatively common in terms of total mintage. Despite its high production numbers, the coin still holds appeal due to its age, historical context, and the fact that it represents the end of a design lineage. In circulated condition, the coin may have surface abrasions, dulled luster, and minor nicks or discoloration from years of handling and exposure. These signs of wear are typical for coins that were used regularly and are not considered damage, but rather a natural part of the coin's life story. The significance of the year 1958 in the context of the Lincoln cent lies not only in its numismatic value but also in the broader social and historical backdrop of mid-20th century America. The country was experiencing post-war prosperity, cultural evolution, and technological progress. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, used in everything from small daily transactions to savings jars and lunch counters, was a constant presence in American life. For collectors, owning a coin from this final year offers a sense of connection to that time, serving both as a collectible and a piece of national memory. Coins like the 1958 Wheat Penny, even in circulated condition, are often the starting point. For many numismatists, they are affordable, widely available, and steeped in history. They also provide an excellent reference for studying how coins age, how designs hold up over time, and how circulation affects different elements of a coin's surface. When handling such coins, it is important to preserve their condition as much as possible. Though this coin is already circulated, further damage from improper storage or cleaning can reduce its appeal and potential value. Using archival safe holders and keeping the coin in a dry environment are simple but effective methods for preservation. One of the reasons this particular coin garners interest is that it precedes the introduction of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, which debuted in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That design shift marked a new direction for the cent, both visually and symbolically, and effectively ended the run of the wheat reverse. Therefore, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny is often seen as the last link to the original vision that Victor D. Brenner brought to life nearly 50 years earlier. For those collecting by type or date, this coin is a must-have as the final example of the wheat series from Philadelphia. The copper alloy used in the 1958 penny was the standard 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc composition that had been used for most of the wheat cent's production life. This metal composition gives the coin its warm, reddish tone, though time and exposure can lead to a range of surface appearances, from bright red to deep brown. In circulated examples, it is common to see toning, fingerprints, or oxidation. While this coin is described as circulated, it still holds collectible interest, especially if the lettering and date are clearly readable and the coin maintains decent structural integrity. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents often seek a complete date and mint mark set, and the 1958 no mint mark penny is essential to completing the wheat cent timeline. While uncirculated or high-grade examples may carry a premium, circulated coins still serve as valuable placeholders or educational pieces. Next up we have the 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of a long and historically significant coin series in the United States, and it represents an important piece of American numismatic heritage. This specific coin was minted at the Denver Mint as indicated by the D mint mark located just below the date on the obverse. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and continued through 1958. It was the first regularly issued U.S. coin to depict an actual historical figure, breaking away from the tradition of using allegorical images. The 1955 issue came near the end of the series, and it is widely collected by enthusiasts interested in this classic design. The obverse of the 1955 penny features the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln is shown facing right with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" along the upper rim, Liberty to the left of the portrait, and the year 1955 followed by the mint mark D on the right. Over time and through circulation, many of these coins, like the one described, develop surface imperfections. In this particular case, the coin is noted to have some dots on its surface, which could be the result of minor corrosion, contact marks, or environmental exposure. These characteristics, while common in circulated coins, give each piece a unique history and visual identity. On the reverse side of the coin is the iconic wheat ears design, which had been in use since 1909. This design features checkered stalks of wheat framing the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above the denomination is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. The wheat reverse, simple yet symbolic, was meant to evoke the agrarian roots of the country and remains one of the most recognized and celebrated reverse designs in American coinage. By 1955, this design was already on the cusp of being replaced, making each remaining issue increasingly significant for collectors. The Denver Mint struck over 500 million Lincoln cents in 1955, making the 1955 D penny quite common in terms of mintage. However, despite its abundance, it holds numismatic value due to its age, historic design, and the interest surrounding coins from the 1950s. While high-grade uncirculated specimens may command more attention and price, circulated coins with distinct features such as the described surface dots also hold interest, particularly for collectors aiming to complete date and mint mark sets or for those studying die varieties and minting characteristics from the era. In terms of its physical condition, a 1955 D penny with some dots would typically be considered lower-grade circulated. The dots may be a result of oxidation, pitting, or small areas of verdigris, which can occur when copper reacts with environmental elements like moisture and air. While these imperfections might reduce the coin's aesthetic appeal to some, others see them as markers of authenticity and age. Collectors often prefer coins with original surfaces, even if they are imperfect, over coins that have been cleaned or tampered with. As originality retains historical integrity, the significance of the 1955 D penny also comes in part from its association with one of the most famous era coins in U.S. history, the 1955 double die penny. While that particular error occurred at the Philadelphia Mint and not in Denver, the year 1955 holds special meaning for Lincoln cent collectors. As a result, all pennies from this year receive added attention, and collectors may look closely at Denver minted examples to examine other minor varieties or minting anomalies. Copper coins like the Lincoln wheat cent are particularly susceptible to changes in appearance over time. Exposure to different storage environments can lead to a variety of toning colors and surface changes. The dots described on this coin may be part of that natural aging process. While these may not affect the coin's structural integrity, they can provide information about the coin's journey through decades of circulation and storage. For example, prolonged storage in high humidity areas can accelerate the development of small spots or darkened areas on copper coins. From a historical perspective, coins like the 1955 D wheat penny offer a tangible connection to the economic and cultural life of mid-20th century America. In 1955, the country was undergoing significant transformation, with the post-war economic boom influencing everything from consumer goods to popular culture.